Ready? Good evening. Today is Thursday, May 11th, 2023. And the time is 6:01 p.m. and the Board of Health meeting will now commence. Roll call, please.
Nicole Duffy?
Here.
Anthony Postali?
Here.
Dan Grabowski?
Yes.
Paige Sutka?
She's excused.
Jasmine Canonis?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Agenda item number 3, accepting the meeting minutes. So for the first one, for February 16th, 2023, I'm still feeling, I think Marantha did an awesome job with that because that was a lot. That was a lot to put in there. I just feel like it was such an important meeting. I think I want some more in there as I went into that. So that's going to take me a little bit, you know what I mean, to go through that if that's okay.
So you want to postpone, right? And I would agree. It's kind of strange because when I was reading it, and I agree with you 100%, the writing of it was spot on, but it didn't capture, for me personally, because it was a spirited meeting, and I saw the word concern with me, and there were things that said that while they weren't done appropriately, they should be reflected a little bit more. However, I also want it on the record that I think the intent was missed somewhat at that meeting, because I think we're still all trying to figure our way. This is a relatively new board. It's a new director for us. Yeah. And so I think unintentionally we stepped on toes, not purposely, So I just, I don't know how that gets reflected and what gets added, but I just feel like,
Just more it needs, it's not, I don't think it's ever going to be perfect,
No,
because it's just too much. But
I think we're already up to 5 pages. But
I know,
if you want
I know. No, I know.
Like, here we
No,
are.
it's just that there's just certain things that I think that,
All right, well, you let me know
I will.
what you
No,
want.
I'll let you know,
on it,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
We can review
Yeah.
the tape and the recording, and we can edit the
sounds
minutes.
like that progressive commercial. Let's review the tape. But, yeah.
So,
So
can
are
you make a
you
motion?
you're making a motion?
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion if we can table those minutes to just do one more once over.
Thank
Anybody
you.
want to second that?
Does that have to be seconded? I'll second it. But.
Thank you, Anthony Postali. All right, I'll do a roll call. Nicole Duffy?
Yes.
Anthony Postali?
Yes.
Dan Grabowski?
Yes.
Paige Sutka, she's excused, and Jasmine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Motion
thank you.
passes.
And do a spot on job. That's the first
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I did.
No, she did. That was a lot. I don't envy you.
Right.
So the agenda item, so agenda item 3B for April 20th, they're accepting the minutes. So I can
I looked over them.
Oh, yep, okay.
They seemed fine unless someone else picked up anything. When I look at the minutes, I read what it says. As far as misspelling or anything, if I run into it, I might say something, but I don't really nitpick for the misspelling if I run into it. But other than what I read, it's fine.
The content was fine.
Yes, I mean, it was on.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was okay. Everybody else get
Daniel
to read
did
it?
a good
Or?
job.
Oh, you weren't
Thanks.
here.
Right.
You abstained. Okay. All right, just want to make a motion? to
Make a
accept-
motion to accept the minutes for April 20th.
Okay,
Second it.
okay.
All right, let's see. Jasmine Canonis.
Yes.
Thank you. Paige Sutka is excused.
Yep.
Anthony Postali.
Abstain.
Dan Nicole Duffy.
Yes,
Thank you. Dan Grabowski.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
okay. Agenda item number 4, Citizens Forum. Mr. Marquetti?
A couple of things. First of all, I still see a lot of mattresses around town. If you're gonna ask me exactly what the addresses are, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I just see them everywhere. There were some down at the end of Morris Street, those finally got picked up. And I just was wondering what can be done to cut down on this? Do we have to put up cameras or something? What, because I can't believe that, that people, well, maybe it's people that live there that are putting them up. Sometimes I think it's people from maybe out of town putting mattresses around town. I just don't know. There's a lot of mattresses everywhere. Sometimes they're not even covered. There's some I saw some on Everett Street. I saw some on Morris Street.
When did you see that, about when did you see the mattresses on Everett Moore Street?
Every day.
While we're on the mattresses, there's also one on West Main Street,
Okay. Every day.
right before the Sales Street. There's a small one, but that was wrapped up. Someone told me that
If it's wrapped, it's been
if-
scheduled.
if
Right.
you put it in a mattress wrapping, like
bag, yeah.
like a zip bag,
Yeah.
it's a white bag,
Yeah,
and you call, they'll come and get it.
You'll
Yes.
call, you have to
That-
pay over the phone and they'll come and get it.
right, they're waiting
So
for
it
it to be picked up, yeah.
Right.
One on
But-
Moore Street.
Were they wrapped, did you?
The ones
The one on Main
Moore
Street was-
thrown out there, and somebody finally picked them up, and then a couple days later, 2 more were out there, so
Yeah,
it
who
seems
picked-
to me that that's a spot that people are using to
We're aware of that one, yes,
some
they are.
mattresses, and I don't know if somehow we can get some security cameras in the area, something to stop
Well,
that.
Counselor, I would say, as I've repeated over and over and reiterated, without the institution of the fine and the municipal charges leaned, okay, and really press our fines and actually make them stick, we're just chasing our tails.
So what
Now-
aren't you
now-
chasing those?
Well, we issue the correction orders when we see them, and there's a lag of time from when we issue the correction notice, and actually from the time we get out there and it's identified. But when we issue a correction notice, we have to give certain time to correct this. And that coincides with the mailing, the acceptance of this correction order, and it could be a lag time of up to a week and a half to 2 weeks, and that's the best we can do. And what is the root cause of this here in Southbridge? There's many that we have to look at. But the fact is that the public still needs to improve on themselves on placing these mattresses and assume a higher level of responsibility, because at this point, I certainly believe the word has been out and people know that the mattresses are not being picked up and they're left there. Yet this still continues. And what we have done, we've also included the DPW more often now to pick up these mattresses that are in public way. And there's many that are just left on sidewalks intentionally, I believe. And
Well, it seems to me the one on West Main Street, if it was wrapped up, I mean, someone went to the lengths to do it properly, so that will be picked up.
Yeah.
But when we were picking up on Saturday, behind that extra mart where you see Jimmy's Liquor Store and that gas station mart, whatever, I mean, there's one tucked back in the dumpster, behind the dumpster where you can't see it behind the tree. I mean, it's a thick one, it's a big one, and it's been there a while. I mean, you can't see it from the street unless you creep up on it, because I was walking through it, see, I was gonna pick something up, and I said, I'm not gonna pick up the parking lot. I mean, it's a business, we're supposed to pick up the street.
Right.
So I'm saying, what's that? It's like this, and it's been there a while, and it stunk. So people are actually hiding those things, but the ones with the ones with the covers, Mike, those people are actually doing something about it. And so there are things that you can proper channels that you can go about doing it. Because even my neighbor says, as long as it's wrapped up in your car, they'll come and get it. But you have to. No, the wrapper might cost you. It's going to cost money. Everything costs money nowadays.
But I'm emphatic with my decision and my theory.
Right. And some of these are new, by
That
the way,
if
too.
we institute solid municipal charges liens and get a well-grounded ticketing system, which has been very much deficient here in this town, you will get a cleaner community. And you will get far much more compliance.
Well, I just want to make note, to add that, you know what? I would love to get cameras. We have no money. Anytime we ask for money, it's no. Being the bottom line. I would love that, but go ahead, Tony, I'm sorry.
$150,000
Go ahead, Tony.
in blight money, and I don't see why it couldn't be used for cameras.
Well, we've got a huge list of blight on there on top of that. I mean, there's a whole, that's kind of that's one of the things what we're talking about as well, to really chisel at that.
I agree with you. That,
Yeah.
not to
Yeah.
undermine that idea, but cameras would be. I just know they're expensive, and
Yeah. No, I would absolutely.
I would entertain that
I
idea.
would, but
Well, can't even get a printer at times.
I know,
To the
yeah,
camera,
exactly, yeah.
And,
That's my thought process.
and I've
Yeah.
discovered many other pockets in Southbridge here where they continue to be dumping areas.
Yeah.
on ground.
There are, yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
And they get cleaned up and they go
Right.
back and, I would agree with
During
you.
our curbside committee, you said you had like 70 outstanding warrants or issues or?
No, we had all the tickets that were issued, the 21 D tickets that were issued over the years. I would say 95 to 90 to even higher percentages have been unpaid.
Well, then you're just gonna have to make them pay.
And that's where I would like to see that municipal charges lien instituted, rather than taking these fines and bringing them to court. Because the consequence of that is essentially, if you have a $300 ticket that is unpaid, left unpaid, if we put it into court, the legal costs are up to $500 to $700 per ticket.
Right, so we're losing money.
Right.
So it's an added cost, and
But still, the word would get out that you are cracking down.
that avenue has been taken long before
Well-
I've got here, and I just don't see the success of that.
I just
I'm
want to
sorry.
make a point, you know, it wasn't a mattress per se, but just during our Beautify of Southbridge, I was out there picking trash up, by the way. And I would love to see a lot of people who are complaining about it join in. And we went out there and just, I think, I think Marissa, actually, you'd seen that, there was a dumpster, actually. They tagged them for that again, you know what I mean, just right by, you know, right off of,
On the corner of Hamilton
Yeah.
and Main.
Yeah.
Oh, my office?
But you're not gonna
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Yeah,
see
yeah.
I know,
them.
I know.
Oh, it's so gross, I call them all the time. There's bugs, seats, everything.
yeah, oh, no, I saw the pictures, exactly. So it's like, so when you're on foot like that, you can really see, I mean,
You can.
and honestly, there were a lot of great clean spots. I mean, honestly, like, we were, you know, proud of that. But it's like, yeah, we've seen a lot of little
Just-
nooks here and there.
Just some sort of plan, that's all I'm asking for.
Yep.
And we're completely open. You know, if you have any other suggestions, I'm open to it. It's just that, you know, I'm right on board with you with the cameras. We don't have the money. So what else can we do? Absolutely.
How-
Yeah.
Do you know who's throwing those? Are you able to trace those? Because, right?
That's part of the problem, yeah.
That's
because,
the
yeah.
challenge as well, you know.
If it's on someone's property, they own it, you know, and that's
We-
different, but if they don't own it, that's the
And
problem.
we're even challenged, you know, the amount of rubbish and trash I've seen on town property, as we discussed last meeting.
Yes.
And I did go up to the area where the airport is, Pleasant Street, and absolutely, I concur, trash up and down, and I did research, and that's all town-owned land. And at that level, whose responsibility is it? I would see right there, the
Yeah, that's what's
DPW.
frustrating.
And I've had that discussion even with Rich Benoit, Richard Benoit, and I think they're well aware, and the challenges they have is just they're undermanned and short-staffed in many aspects. I've talked to Phil about that. It's going to be a concerted effort on everybody's part. Agreed. And on our end with the enforcement, agreed. We do fundamentally have to step that up. And I think it will definitely work. That's my assessment with the integration of the municipal charges lien.
I agree with that, but the one thing is you gotta be mindful. You said it. How many cases do you already have?
Yeah.
And they know, you know, you're putting something in place, something's gonna be done, yes.
Sure.
But you put something in place where they're just gonna be like, what are you gonna do about it? So I get a ticket. So I agree though. I think we should, but then,
But see, there's the thing, again, with owners that may go like this,
Yeah.
that will be addressed when it comes to pay their taxes. They'll be
right, if
on
there's
it.
a mechanism in place
There-
that
there it
says,
is.
hey, then that's
the
perfect.
mechanism.
Perfect.
And that's really the
Perfect.
It just
true
takes a long
mechanics
time.
of that.
It just takes a long time to get to there.
But as long as it comes back and gets them at some point.
It
so-
does when they
Yeah.
get that tax bill. They,
Yes.
meaning
Yes.
the individuals that were reluctant to
Think good.
address this,
Yeah,
pay
it's
it.
just not a quick fix, that's all.
It's not,
It's not a quick
and
fix.
everyone has a right to appeal this, so that
Yeah.
we're gonna take the legal approach and the legal process. But if that's not fulfilled at the end of the day, if the steps haven't been taken to pay the fine, reach compliance, the consequences will be that it's going to show up on a tax bill. Residential or commercial entities that own property. And I've lived it, I've seen it, I've done this for many years, and I've seen the advantages of using that type of system.
Yeah.
Where the advantages are really seeking compliance. And I agree with everyone, there has to be, something has to be done. And certainly with the mattresses, I too as well see how many, question, how many people are actually moving? The influx. It's just, you know, we were at this location before and
for sure,
and I was
right?
perplexed.
Yeah.
And
Anything about just using it as a dumping ground.
And so we're always open to information. Anybody, give us a call, heads up.
All I'm asking for is some kind of a plan going forward, because I think I've been coming here for a year now, and we still have the problem, so if we could just get a plan.
Well, I think that there is a plan, we just have to get the people on board to allow us
Right.
to execute it.
Right.
I mean, as far as we're good, we have a plan, we just need the support to be able to reinforce it.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
The plan is to crack down on these fines and making sure that the people are held accountable,
Right.
you know, because
That's not really a plan, that's something that you want to do, but I'm talking about what is your plan?
Well, that's part of my plan is I've already enacted it where I've had legal counsel research the bylaws and the steps to take. Now, subsequent to that, it went into the previous town manager's hands and nothing was done. And unfortunately, he left. So what I am right now is trying to reach out to the interim town manager to get approval to have this enacted. And I can't force other department heads to actually conduct this procedure. And I am looking for the support of the town manager and also the town council, which I will be going to seek that these bridges are connected through departments and that this process is actually enacted all the time. And from my point of view, simply we generate, my department, Board of Health, a list of individuals that have not paid their tickets.
yeah.
And we'll take the responsibility for all the steps before that.
Yeah.
And I just need to be sure that when I give this list to other departments, that Tony, just like you said, it ends up on the tax bill. And I can't seem to get that done.
That's a solid plan.
And I've been
Yeah,
challenged,
exactly.
and I've been talking about this
That
for over,
sounds,
and I
Yep.
still
No, I agree.
that's a
not
good
getting,
plan.
so I wanna foster
Solid
this,
plan,
yeah.
you know?
And
And
that would be an effective plan too, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Once
exactly.
people start paying for
Right.
whether it's
Yep.
taking responsibility, the
Yep.
word will get out.
Yep.
You can put
Like-
cameras there, then you
but
gotta
we- but
review
we-
cameras, then you don't know who's
That is-
moving.
And in turn, once we solidify this,
I can't
My-
drive
my-
around up and down the street looking for people.
Right,
throwing
right.
mattresses. I mean, what we do anyway, by the way.
my
Some
theory,
areas that you know are dumping grounds, you could put something there. You know, like Morris Street.
that's true,
People keep dumping it right there.
I know exactly what
You
you're
know,
talking.
somebody knows that that's.
I've had the DPW out there 3 or
Yeah,
4
no.
times.
Yeah,
You know-
they're just gonna find out they
Well,
have to.
well, you know what, I'm being somewhat facetious here when I say you need to set up a hotline for garbage and stuff, but signage. This is monitored, put a telephone number. Neighbors now start to, because I think it's great to have a plan in place, but then you gotta communicate it to the public. And if the word eventually gets out that we're coming after them for tickets, but how do we be a little more proactive and say to the community, if you see someone throwing a mattress, call this number and let us know, and we'll take it from there.
I don't
Like,
think I could do something like that. How do you get
That's
rich
a
as couple
good
mattresses?
idea.
yeah, how do people do it? I saw a girl, and I was at a red light and I saw a girl crossing the street right across from Notre Dame. She took a bottle, finished it, and she threw it. I almost rolled down my window, but my wife tells me, you just gotta shut up, because I would have been like, what are you doing?
Road rage or something.
No, but it's not, but it's just, there's people
It's
who,
irresponsible.
but then there are people like us who maybe would see a sign like that and see somebody dumping something and say, you're not gonna dump in my neighborhood.
All right, I'll look into illegal dumping
So
signs.
collectively, I agree with you, Counselor. I think there's
Right.
a lot of things we
It's a
can
start.
do. Some will be costly, but others
Well,
will.
and you know what, on our page, well, that's another issue, but on our page, if we wanna put,
In the business This is a dumpster, because
That's
they're
true.
not locked up.
That's true.
So is there something can be sent?
So, like I was saying, I think we should put on our page as well, on the town hall, as far as, you know, for any, if you see any dumping, please contact the Board of Health. We'll have it there as well. You know what I mean? So that's another area to advertise, we can do that.
Then we'll
Yep.
revisit it if these
Yeah,
plans
exactly,
don't
yeah.
get,
Yep,
yeah, enacted.
Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
You all set with that?
Oh, yeah.
It's a good topic.
Okay. Okay, citizens forum, is there anything else other than what we just discussed? Okay, all right, okay. Agenda item number 5, COVID update. You have that.
Yes, I have, which will be the last report for COVID. Okay? This,
Okay.
and also the flu. The flu information and the report we will resume in fall 2023, this fall. Okay?
Both of them are gonna resume in the fall? Or just the
COVID
flu?
is contingent upon other factors, but
Okay.
they're.
At this time, this will
at
be the
this
last
time-
one.
At
Okay.
this time. This is
Okay.
the last one, so we'll end it
Okay.
on a good note. That there were only 3 cases, COVID, okay, since the last update. And this is per the epidemiologist, Brianna, which is good. It's a significant decline
Okay.
in cases.
Yeah.
And as with the flu, no new cases.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
So, good things to report. Infection rates have significantly declined,
Can I take a look?
and some are non-existent.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Pass it on.
So, as we know, with COVID-19, it has become endemic, and the emergency status of the infectious disease is being pulled, I believe, today. Emergency response.
It's nice to see 0 hospitalizations. So that's from April 13th to May 9th, no hospitalizations, no cases in children under 19.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Cases in individuals of 60 plus is just 1. New deaths, 1. New cases reported 3. Okay.
It's amazing how it just
So-
stopped.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully, knock on wood, we're past COVID, and we want to still keep it on the radar in many aspects, but in
Yeah,
others,
These new strains and.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
it is,
exactly,
yes,
yeah.
it is, it is.
Yeah,
And should COVID rates rise, hospitalizations, et cetera, then we will take measures at that point.
Sure.
and Brianna is still doing that.
Yeah.
Correct, okay. So things, if the winds change, so to speak, she'll kind of like start doing that again and she'll start doing the reports.
Sure.
Okay.
And we're
Okay.
optimistic that the winds don't change, but
Right, for a while anyway, yeah.
as we know with COVID,
I'll pass it
they
on.
could at any time.
You're right.
Right? We've all been through it, so.
Exactly. Okay, that sounds good. Just let Jasmine take a look if she wants to. Yeah, haven't seen that,
It's
yeah.
a big change from last time.
Yeah.
Isn't it nuts? I
It's
know
crazy, yeah.
everybody's got their shots, but just the fact that it's just,
I was speaking
that's
over
weird.
his shoulder,
Oh, okay,
actually. when it was-
perfect.
And
Okay.
quite true,
Okay.
you know, a virus does burn out. You know, and what it's been 3.5 years, give or take, or more, but it's natural for a pandemic to reach that level and to decline significantly like that right at the tail end.
Yeah.
Okay, and which is a good thing.
Right.
So, but just to reiterate and emphasize that it's not off of people's targets.
Okay.
Boards of health, epidemiologists, MDPH, certainly with everything that happened during the pandemic. I also believe it was a learning curve for most, but we're hopeful that this continues to again decline. At
Okay.
3 cases right now, I think we're at that level where again the
Yeah,
reporting and
well, it's
everything
nice to
should
see
need to cease.
zeros and single digits, so.
Yes, yes, indeed, indeed.
All right. Agenda item number 6, old business. A, light update. Have we taken a look at the Brick Row and on Thomas Street? I think that was one of the top ones we left off at as far as like, you know, is that something that, at the town, you know, the town property and,
Well, right now, I can tell the board members, I am still in my research stage of finding out exactly all the aspects of these properties, meaning who owns them, how much taxes they owe, how can we get them auctioned, can they be repaired? Are they in the process of being sold? I can tell you these properties in the last couple of months have really moved. They're quite fluid. Some I've been told are in the process of being sold, okay, and also in conjunction in the process of being rehabbed. There's certainly ones out there that have been condemned by the Board of Health, and 20 Brick Row being one, and being the #1 high-risk blighted property in my opinion, and others that I've talked to that were part of this process. But truthfully, the list that I'm maintaining does entail 10 to 11 properties, which I have gone to many myself, and the building inspector has. But it's really time now to fully assimilate all the information from the treasurers, building, health, and find out the true status of some of these buildings. And we plan on actually visiting. And what I also learned is if any property is projected to be demolished, a survey must take place, a survey. And a survey team of the building inspector, the fire department, DPW, an engineer, health department. So that has to be done. That's mandated by Mass General Law. Okay, which I believe has been done here in town before, and it can be reinstituted, and it must be if we take that route. And I believe with 20 Brick Row we must. So we've got to just follow the proper procedures and steps to get there.
yeah, and I think the last time we spoke about, we were, you know, because again, we've had a long list. I mean, you know, it's going to take a bit, but we pretty much agreed that we would start with the Brick Row and Thomas Street at this point. So if we can really push through that, and we need to know where we're at with that and what's the next
Well,
step
there's
with that.
well, see, it's not as easy as that. Okay, we know certain elements of these properties, but fully it changes. Okay, as ones that I've had on this list, for instance, 143 South Street was on it. I went out there. It's been sold and in the process of rehab.
So these two itself, what's changing at this point? So I'm just interested in knowing, first off, like,
Well,
do
what-
we own these properties? Do you know that, Brick Row and Thomas Street, or we're not there yet?
The town, meaning, right, owns Thomas Street.
Okay.
That's what I know.
Okay.
And the movement with that, as it sits idle, is not up to the Board of Health to determine what they
Oh,
want to do.
no, I understand that.
What would be?
I just want to know where we stand with this. The point being from last time is we want to know where we stand with these two first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where we stand with 20 Brick Row is the survey's got to be done. Okay? Subsequent to that, my understanding here in town, it still needs approval from the town council. Should demolition take place. And as I've stated before, under the housing code, okay, Code of Massachusetts regulations, if a property, a dwelling is condemned for over a year, which this one has, okay, and it's been 3-4 years, it's sitting idle here, and no measures have been taken place, we have the right, as the Board of Health, to dictate that it must be condemned.
So I got a question, please.
Yep, go ahead.
So the next step, what is the next step? Does it have to go to town council?
Survey,
Survey
So the
first.
survey then,
correct,
and all
Council.
these people that you just mentioned have to be part of that survey?
Yes.
Right.
correct.
And it has to be done with all these people present, or can
Yes.
it be independent?
Um,
So you would have to get up a survey
survey team would usually, and the norm would all go out and address this,
And then
look
it'll
at
go to
this,
the
take
town
into
council?
account, and then that, yes, I understand, would go in front of the approval for the town council members.
So whose job is it to get these people together? Is it?
The building inspector.
So the building inspector have to contact these people and,
He will,
and
yep,
set up an
yep,
appointment?
When we get to that
To
level.
take a road trip?
Exactly.
And that
Yeah.
survey is for
Be
what
careful,
purpose?
because
Like, what are you
the
guys
buildings
looking
come
at?
down.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna be looking at their own aspects of, like, for fire department,
Fire
safety.
is a safety issue,
Building,
Wood building.
safety, and predominantly, we felt safety.
Yeah.
Right, so there's many actors, but what they look at it is also, does it warrant demolition at that point? So everyone, and obviously they're going out there to ascertain that, okay? But just to make sure at that time, point in time when the survey is done, what the conditions are.
Yeah.
Because many of these locations have been inspected and looked at before, and it could have been a year before, 2 years, but no one's gone back, 2 months. So an accurate assessment at the time, or close to where the movement to demolish will take place, okay? And that can happen to Thomas Street. Now, what I've learned with Thomas Street is that the property is owned by the town, it's been secured, board and secured it, and it sits. And it's never been taken and put back into the tax roll, meaning auctioned. And that's not the decision of the Board of Health, that's the decision of other departments, okay? So as it sits, it just continues to degrade. Now, coupled with the fact that I've also learned that Thomas Street may not be able to be rehabbed, okay? That's not my decision, I'm not qualified to make that decision. So,
There's something about the foundation with that, wasn't it?
correct.
Yeah.
They never did anything like this before?
Auction?
No, the auction, I remember sitting here listening about the
Right.
auction and stuff. But these reports, the survey that.
I thought they were surveyed way before, but maybe you're saying
there
that
was-
they're not current? Do they have to
Well,
be
but
current?
does it have to be current?
That's
If
what-
it
yeah, that's
says
what I'm
it's
asking.
inhabitable?
I believe so, to the point, again, I can't clarify what the time frame is between doing a survey and the time it's demolished. But
Yeah.
my discussion with, like Julie, the building inspector said, previous to demolition, these have to be
Has-
accomplished.
Regardless to the past survey.
Right.
Correct.
So if they've condemned it in the past, nope, time has elapsed.
Too
Correct.
much pa-
You gotta
time
go
has
back
Correct.
passed,
out.
as it sounds like,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
It's
right.
bad.
Now, I'm sure they take this into account, like a condemnation here, which
Yeah.
has been, again, 3-4 years
Gotcha.
instituted by the Board of Health.
Right.
But the conditions, the structural integrity it's much more compromised since then
Right.
and
It's worse
deteriorated.
now, yeah.
So a tree growing out and all sorts of things out of the interior. There's a tree growing right out through the roof.
Yeah, I went over there, I saw.
Yeah. So that's my hopes is to get real, true assessments on ourselves, which I wanted to get an understanding. I've gone to all of these properties.
Okay, so let me
Okay.
ask you this, so understood Brick Row, the first step is survey first, then town council, we got that. So Thomas Street, is it the same thing? Is a survey needed first? Is that the first step
If
that's
it
needed for
is,
that one?
well, again, that survey can be done. It is owned by the town, and I would assume the piece right here would be whether this property is deemed, can it be rehabbed?
Okay.
And to a certain degree, anything can be rehabbed if you want to throw a lot of money at it. Anything can.
Okay.
But then that really comes down to the decision of the treasurers, okay? Will they put this on auction? Okay, and I don't know the status, how much is owed for back taxes, etc., but there it sits. But what I'm trying to do is to emphasize and reiterate to everyone, as it sits, it degrades. Why can it not be put on an auction list? And the auction process started. Now, I've been told the previous treasurer did not do that. We have a new treasurer here, a new individual, and I've talked to her about this, and I am waiting for...
Okay, so I just want to understand it. So from my understanding, you're saying that it should have been put on auction and it wasn't, so we need to kind of
No,
find
that's
out
not
at
what I'm
this point?
saying. I'm saying it never has, for reasons I don't know. the Board of Health, what I understand, didn't force anybody to auction. It's the prerogative of the department and the council to make that decision. It's not the Board of Health's decision to put it on a payroll.
But
No,
we
that's
don't,
not
we
what
don't
I'm
know,
saying.
but we don't
That's not
know
what I'm
if
saying.
it's
Right.
even in good shape, right?
Right, that's. what
Yeah, so that assessment,
So we need a survey done to
Yeah.
get back to what you're.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
So a
so
survey
we need the
needs to be
survey.
done.
surveys, I think surveys in all are going to really be the telltale sign of what direction's going to
I
be
was
taken.
just asking because you brought up the auction thing, so that's why I was confused with that. It's like, okay, so was it's supposed to be an auction, not, so we need a survey regardless for this, right? For Thomas Street? That should be the first step, right?
The survey, if it is going to be at the level where it should be taken down, demolished. So if it's going to be demolished, and we believe it can enter that stage, yes, a survey should be done.
So is there a middle point then that says, so we need to figure out first whether or not it's in good health, I'll just say, right?
Okay, sure.
So then that decision, then there's the decision, if it's in poor health, we take this route, we go the demolition route. If it's in good health, we go this way. And it seems like it's tingent upon the survey, but it sounds like I don't know, but there's a little point, like, so how do we know without taking the survey? So is it a true statement? We need a survey. That's the end of the story. We need a survey to
I would
dictate
agree.
what
I
the,
would agree. A full,
Right.
right
I'm
now,
just trying
up
to
to
get to what's
date.
the first step with this, yeah, that's.
Well,
that's
that, again, there's so many other people that are involved and just not the Board of Health with these, right?
Right, I'm
So-
talking on
So
our end.
collectively, I'm trying to collect all this and relay this to the board.
Right,
And
but on
this-
our, end, what our responsibility is, what was our first step that we can do? I understand when it gets to another entity, that's out of our hands. What
As-
can we do at this point?
We've never condemned it. So, we would look at that as a blighted property similar to this that we have. Is it at that stage of degradation where
Okay.
it needs to be addressed? Okay?
Okay.
And there's other departments that can do that as well, namely the building inspector, right? He could do the survey on his own and take initiative if he feels a building is uninhabitable and if there's a high level of risk to public safety and health that warrants a demolition. So he can make that
the
call.
first,
too.
right, and it
Right.
doesn't even have to be extensive. At that point, hey,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
recommend that you.
Sure, sure.
So I guess to Dan's question was, so it sounds like it's all driven by you, but you have a lot to go out. Is that a fair?
That is yes, and again, I have to have approval of
Right,
many
right, but
other
it all-
entities.
Yeah, so
right.
you're the trigger, and so now you
Sure.
need to make the recommendation.
Yeah.
You do all the scheduling too for those surveys?
No, that's something Mike's going to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Mike
because
does
it's
that.
the inspector
Yeah, that's
involved.
that's a requisite of, again, Mass General laws that are affiliated with building code.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to fulfill that. But once the surveys are done, I
Okay,
believe
Then
again,
you-
we could still continue more research and truthfully go back to a department and see whether we can have this auctioned.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
or do we do? That's really what I'm trying to convey. There's different paths
we
we
could
can
condemn
take,
it.
but right now things have just been stalled for a
Right.
long time and
Yeah.
nothing's been done, and the conditions just worsen.
Yeah.
well, that's my concern. It's
Yeah.
like we don't wanna, on our end, whatever is in our control, I don't wanna stall it anymore. I just wanna,
Yeah.
take a
Sure.
step with
And-
that.
and-
We need to do something.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
been, God forbid, something falls and hurts somebody and, you know.
Agreed.
So, yeah, so we need to get on that, I would think. Some surveys for both. Yes, if you can get back to us on that,
I will.
thank you.
So then what's an acceptable time frame?
Have the survey done?
Yeah, or just
There-
yeah, let's just say the.
To get it at least, scheduled, you know what I mean? To at least get it.
That again falls within the scope of the building inspector.
Mike,
And
so
to
it's
Mike.
contingent
I-
on his
yeah,
schedule, right?
Okay.
And I could say, again, 60 days to 90 days.
Okay.
Okay.
60 to 90.
All right. 60 to 90 days to actually happen, okay.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah, I know, believe me. I
No,
know
and
you
that's why I
guys
don't
are
want to
busy,
sit
so-
on it, so long.
Back
That's
like
exactly
30
it.
to
Well,
60 days, but it's,
And I always think it's good to have these points because now in my world nothing gets done unless I know my wife gives me my deadline. Hey, you're gonna have to. All right, I'm the king of procrastination and I got too many other things, so.
Okay. One second.
This chair keeps on going down.
there's one that's not too good, it's effective. I had it like.
That's it.
Yeah, this is me. This is the
Another
world
one,
telling me
like,
I'm
it's gonna
gaining
drive you
weight.
nuts.
We're gonna add this to our blight update.
Well, my exercise plan.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
Is there any other buildings specific that you want to bring up, or does anybody want to bring up? I know there's a list, so I don't want to get all into it. Just anything that's overly concerning, or other than those two that we just discussed.
There are the two properties that have been a thorn in the town side, I understand, for a long time. 757 Main Street
Okay.
and 743 Main Street. 757, we did go ahead, the health department, and condemn this location.
Okay.
And the reasoning for this was gross insanitary conditions. Outside, it became a dumping ground. And what I learned, being only here 7 months, this has been going on for 2-3 years. And it was a mess, to say the least. Nothing done.
You're talking the one that's boarded up, right?
Yeah,
I
they're
think
both
Andrew-
boarded up.
I think Andrew
Correct.
Pelletier and Mike boarded it up because people were using it
Yeah.
And it was used,
for whatever.
Yeah.
yes, and it just became
That
a
was a
dumping
whole. That
ground.
was a
So
whole.
it's been a while, right?
That's
So
the one.
eventually, with the condemnation order, we were successfully able to get contact with the owner, which is a bank in Texas, and proceed with their team to get a dumpster there and have the place
Oh, okay.
cleaned. And if you go up there, it's night and day, literally. In the woods, all around the surrounding areas, every kind of mixed rubbish item and debris you could imagine was out there. And they brought in a dumpster, and kudos to them, great effort, have collected all of this trash, rubbish, really
Nice.
put it in a coal pile, and already they have removed, I believe, at least a couple dumpsters.
Nice.
So they've taken it seriously.
Okay, good.
So, but without that effort of, just to reiterate, condemnation order
Mm-hmm.
from the department, much was not being achieved. It was just getting worse and worse and worse. Now, there is that other property adjacent to it, which is boarded up and still, I understand, owned by the previous owner.
That's the other one down, right?
It's the
Right,
one
right,
going
yeah,
toward
yeah.
town. It's got a tower.
Yeah.
Okay, those properties, and glad to see that property really didn't turn into a dumping. But the other ones did, and again, for example, that one was in a horrendous state of filth. So we have moved on that property in regards to getting it cleaned.
Okay.
But there it sits. It's very noticeable that people have broken into it.
Yeah.
For all the stories, there's broken windows. There was someone, a homeless individual living on the porch on the Marine. So many problems has resulted. But again, an example of a property that has been sitting idle for many years, not months. And I think right now, the health department has to take that assertive approach, as I'm trying with getting everything done with surveys and finding out as much information on these properties as I can. My research is important because I need accurate information. The trouble here in town, honestly, is with the transitions from the town managers, okay? I have not been able to get information that I need to successfully understand what the status of these properties are and to move in one direction or the other, which we've identified. So, but those being a historically known area where to dump items. And further measures may take place where we may issue that the current owners put up a fence. And even go as far as cameras. The rest, I have come across other properties that have the potential to be rehabbed. Okay? And from the outside, again, without me going in, I believe there's a possibility of these being rehabbed by somebody. Somebody could. And I feel that there's others that I've talked to that feel the same way, but no one has put their foot forward and done anything, and they just really sit. And time doesn't work favorably with these type of buildings. They just get worse and worse. So, but Chair, you're right. I think Brick Row and the Thomas Street will be addressed first and foremost. And Brick Row being the one that something needs to be conducted immediately.
Sure.
And I would ask the board members for assistance in assisting me to get approval through the town council to demolish a property of this.
Okay.
Because that's my understanding that the final approval rests on their shoulders. And we have the money in our budget for blighted properties, that I shared, a sum of approximately $180,000. My discussions with Mike Julian has come out that a demolition costs roughly now, demolition of a property, $60,000.
How much?
$60,000.
60.
Yeah.
Go have enough.
And that can go up depending on what is found, asbestos,
Yeah.
number of things. It could be higher, it could be lower, but that's what we're looking at is a general area. That will leave us with, possibly just enough money for 3 demolitions.
Right. Yeah.
So with that said, I would ask the assistance of the board members when it comes time to go in front of the town council to discuss this, that
Okay.
I could have your support and come with me to discuss this so we do get these done.
Okay.
Especially with the condemnations. This should be straightforward.
Yeah,
Okay?
done.
Do you have, could you let us know as far as like when you plan on
Yeah.
approaching, so that
Yeah.
way we can.
You're right. That survey, it's all about the survey. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
just
get the
email,
team.
let us know. You
Yeah, I'm
email
gonna get
us.
the survey done
Yep.
and then proceed with getting the approval from the town council.
Yep.
That's my game plan.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's pretty much have said that, we're all in approval of that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll-
Yeah, whatever you
yeah, we'll
Great.
just let us
Thank
know
you.
when, so we
Yeah,
don't miss the
sure,
meeting.
sure.
So we can do that. Okay. Thank you. Alrighty. In agenda item number 6B, ongoing discussion on community mental health needs. Jazz, I'm not gonna ask you because you're in Puerto Rico.
Well, I was there for work, but yeah, no, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of needs still, and actually, we're just trying to figure out like a pre-COVID, there's like this like new COVID life thing that the MH is like rolling out.
Okay.
Yeah, life, after COVID.
Oh,
and, like
post-COVID,
all these
gotcha, I
things.
gotcha.
Yeah, like there's
yeah.
all these things now that are,
post-COVID thing,
and there's long COVID is a part of that too. Some folks have had COVID actually for, I don't know, like months even. Like testing positive stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So there's all these nuances to it, but it's kind of like where we're at.
Okay.
A lot of the school stuff is coming up with, parent concerns, in regards to school systems and just a lot of the inactivities or lack of support from the school systems in town. So yeah, it's kind of like where we're at. Yeah. Just, yeah, so,
Okay,
just
yeah.
doing what we continue to do, you know,
Yeah.
hopefully be able to, you know, make a solid plan for the going into fall, where usually mental health starts to plummet, like during the summer,
Okay.
people actually, well, things don't level out, but you start, receiving less CSU cases, and which are like emergency,
Yeah.
and then for the fall, though, you just forget it. So, so just trying to.
Yeah.
So bear with me with this question. So, mental health and, so how do you gauge Southbridge as far as like, if you were to give me a big picture of the health of Southbridge and what you're fighting, what would that conversation be? How?
So I usually get a lot of statistics from the Department of Mental Health,
Yeah.
which are incorporated by area censuses of emergency room intakes, psychiatric intakes, overdoses by the police department, because
Yeah.
I'm on their board as well. Just like different, those who have tried to self-harm or buy alcohol, buy opioid, buy street drugs. And so, I mean, all these categories, right, I get. And then, so based on that, I say, okay, well, this, and by the way, it's not just Southbridge. I work with what's called within a catchment area. So South County, right? And then I say, okay, Southbridge has more opioid abuse than Webster or, whatever, I'm just making
Yeah,
things
yeah.
up. So I need to focus my support systems on what, these reports are saying. And so those get drawn out every other month. And then, you see how many, emergency room intakes that there have been for, whatever the circumstances are.
Would you capture like per month or
Yeah, well,
quarter
they
or
do,
something?
yeah, so they usually do like encapsulate, like certain timeframes, so
Yeah.
from April to June, you've
Yeah,
had this
yeah.
many, and the breakdowns were, this was for alcohol, this was for opioid, this was how many Narcans were used in town,
Really?
and, so from there you kind of, we have a strategic planning board with the police department, Department of Mental Health, where we meet with them, and then, we say, okay, well, what is it that we need to do? Do we need to train the police officers and how de-escalation kind of works, crisis intervention, like all that kind of work, just to help with mental health needs, etc. Do we need to up our ante and create blah, 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 so.
So it's depending on the crisis that
just
you're looking at,
depending,
so
yeah.
it's an ongoing conversation.
Oh, it's always an
with,
ongoing, and it
this
changes.
is what we need to focus on, this.
And it changes very, very often. So sometimes it's seniors, it's senior living.
Yeah.
Seniors are experiencing high levels of depression because their rent went up and they're only making so much money. So you're seeing a
They have a
lot
fixed
more.
income, yeah.
And fixed. So what can we
Yeah.
do? But so the variables change all the time.
What's the
So,
trigger? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so.
Right.
Yeah, you can't encapsulate anything here
No.
because you're just like.
It's all
so,
over.
yeah.
Across the board,
Really,
yeah.
really.
You're busy.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way,
A
right?
lot, all the time. So yeah.
Not to mention, like even the police, like to have to experience that over and over, like
Yeah.
that support. It's like what
Yeah.
trauma they've gone through. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
seeing
because
those
they're out
things.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
They're right there. Yeah.
What kind of support do they get?
Well, what kind of support does the supporters get?
Yeah.
And we're in an area
Well,
where
that's it.
supporters
Yeah,
need
exactly,
support.
yeah.
Right, because I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Well
No. Honestly, like people ask me all the time, and I'm like, hey, I gotta go home and process this stuff too,
Yeah.
And sometimes
Yes.
I'm just sitting there like, oh shit.
I don't know how you do it.
Like I sit there like, and I'm like, oh shit.
Right, 5 o'clock, okay, see ya. Yeah, no.
You
I
know,
know.
and I-
Sometimes it's just even the recognition, right?
And
when someone just says, "Hey,
I run
thanks,"
three 24-hour programs, so there's not, but sometimes, it's really
Yeah.
just that bad sometimes where you're just like, whoa, and it's because sometimes the system is very broken in a lot of different ways, right? So when you're in the system and you're trying to advocate for those who don't have a voice, and you're just so frustrated because everything is so broken around
You
you.
hit a wall.
You
yeah.
know, you just,
hit walls.
so, but we keep doing what we're doing, trying to create safe spaces, trying to create
Yeah.
all these great things. We don't give up on people for sure, but, it can be hard. It definitely can be really difficult at times, so.
Well, I like the vouchers in your desk. I still think about that. Yeah, I'm like, she's got a voucher for everything,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I
they
love that.
give a
I love
voucher for
that.
everything, yeah. And somebody around here keeps me quite busy with their referral system, and I'm not gonna say who. Yeah, like, oh yeah, so.
She'll help you out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're great people though, and it's been really something nice to see, the.
You're gonna have like a yellow brick
people
road all
follow
the
me.
way
Yeah,
going to
people
Kiva.
follow me. Oh,
Right,
yeah,
right,
Daniel
right.
said that, and I'm like, oh, did he really?
Go this way.
Yeah, did he really?
Hey, we'll
I
get you
said,
an Uber.
"Great."
Yeah,
I was like, did he really? I said, perfect. That was great. Yeah.
Well, there's many. I commend you,
Yeah,
Catherine.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you so much.
Yeah.
Just those who show you there's a lot, right?
Yeah,
But
no,
with-
it is.
You know,
Yeah.
but with mental health needs, the approach that I've learned that many municipalities all over the country have done, health departments in conjunction with selectmen, councils, town managers, mayors, etc. They've identified ones with, especially mental health, and they've instituted and directly identified it as these, as and deemed them a public health crisis.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
A clear, concise, and address that in municipalities to move forward with that. And what I've read and heard and looked at, deeming something in relation to mental health and moving it into that actual official level of a public health crisis has really been advantageous to getting money allotted for these purposes and having more emphasis from many departments on these type of things. So it's like that level, you get to the crisis level, there's more opportunities to address it.
Oh yeah, it's all systemic. Even with the building demolition, you can tie that into mental health because the air quality changes when we have properties that are, like
That's
they're
true.
that
Yeah,
bad.
I remember
And
one
then,
we were dealing with.
so I got involved in a tree program called Opacum, and we plant. We got a grant for 1,000 trees throughout Southbridge, right, to plant them.
Really?
And then they said, "Why would you do that? Your mental health, right?" And I was like, "Well, that the air quality when it changes, it actually provides certain chemicals in your body feel good, serotonin, dopamine, all kinds of stuff,
Yep.
feel good things, right? So then it actually helps, and then it creates shade, and so then people's blood pressure go down, because of all. So
Nice.
I mean, I know
Nice
it sounds like
connection.
No, it's all
yeah, but
connected.
it's all,
No,
but,
it's
but
all
when you think
connected,
about
absolutely.
it, and then
It is.
food,
It is.
fruit trees create food,
Yep.
for food
It's all
insecurity
connected, yeah.
and all, so these buildings, you can incorporate it all into,
Yep.
what we're doing, so.
Thanks.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
I hate to say this, actually gotta go. I have a CSU case that I have to do, and I have to be there for 7:20 in Webster Hospital. Are we gonna be much longer?
No, we can just go right into the, for the regulations and everything, we can just go right into that, so I think we're good.
Okay.
I'll go back to the Beautify Southbridge thing after that.
Okay.
If that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
That's okay. Okay, so let's see, so agenda item number 8, to discuss whether to amend the current regulations on tobacco use, including restricting youth access on the prohibition of smoking bars. Myself, I feel like I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not saying table it. I'm saying we'll leave it alone.
I
Oh, go
guess
ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Can you explain to me what this is again, real quick?
Daniel, can you explain that to, I think it's the language.
I was frustrated
It's just
the
the way
last
you
time
do it.
I was here. It wasn't against anyone. I just whatever. But what exactly does that mean, real quick, so I don't tie it in?
Agenda 8 is
Right.
as a
To amend regulations on use, tobacco use, including restricting use. What is it?
that is very convoluted. And
It's just
Let
why the
me-
language, I guess.
Let me tell you what I know. So this is to prohibit. I really don't know it. Is there a certain age where the people can go into these smoking bars?
No, this is just the language that we currently have.
Oh, okay,
That's
okay.
all. So
Oh.
that's not, we're not changing anything. That's just
So
like
in other
how
words,
it's,
just to keep what we
that's
have.
just how it's titled.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly,
okay.
yeah.
That's just how it's titled. That's all it is.
We're
Yeah,
good, good.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
That's it,
yeah,
yeah.
we're good,
All right.
The
Yeah.
question,
I
yeah, was,
understand.
yeah.
we're good.
So really, it was a matter of hey, do you want to change this, or do you want to leave it?
Just
I
leave
mean,
it
there's
alone.
basically, yeah. So as it stands when it comes to the smoking bars, there is no language, there's nothing in there
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
point.
I get it.
So
Yeah,
this was
so
basically saying, hey, do we want some? Do we want
So
it?
I made something out of nothing.
That's okay. It's okay.
Leave it alone.
All right, I understand, I get you.
Okay, so I'd like to
Follow
make a
my
motion
lead.
just to leave it.
Yeah, we good.
Okay,
We're gonna motion to remove it from the agenda?
yes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Thank you. Jasmine Canonas,
Yes.
Anthony Pasali,
Yes.
Dan Grabowski,
Yes.
Nicole Duffy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion passes.
Okay, and second is to, agenda item number 9, to discuss the process of issuing permits to determine if this is to be amended. I think I had mentioned this before, I would like, going forward to, any new use permit, anyone who is applying for a permit that's a new use, I would like us to have that to come to our discussion for us to basically to decide whether we want to yay or nay that. But I know that Paige had brought up a good point last time when she said, you know what, maybe even adding just new businesses overall. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, like
So I don't know how everyone
restaurant.
feels about that.
I mean, I
That's
think
a
it
good
would be
idea.
great as long as it pertains to us, you know, like it's a decision that we can make. Cause I mean, I don't wanna be looking at things for a bunch of things that don't pertain to us. You know,
Yeah,
I
well,
wanna
no, it's
stay,
just, yeah.
you know, I wanna stay consistent to what we got.
Okay. All right.
Is that a motion or what are we doing?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion, and Daniel, if you can help with the language in that as far as like how we want that written.
I'm sorry, I don't understand exactly what you're asking.
So what we would like is that going forward,
Yeah.
if there's anyone that's applying for a permit that is a new use business or a new business in town.
New business, I still, you would need to clarify it, like a new business in relation to a restaurant? If it's a new business, what does that again constitute?
Just
Good. Any new business?
any new business.
So what you're asking is any new business that comes for a permit from the,
Right.
to go in front of the board to have it approved
For discussion.
for discussion?
For discussion, correct.
Okay.
Yep. So that would be for new business and any new use. So it could be a existing business, but say if they want to, they're going to change that, you know what I mean? They want to, such as like with the smoking lounge, you know what I mean? That's an existing business, but they were going to change that. So that would be a new use.
So every permit, so if.
Not
in
every
fa-
permit, not every permit.
Okay, but the issuance of a new permit needs to take place. So we have an application for, again, we'll use a restaurant, okay?
Okay.
Let's use Chick-fil-A that's coming in tomorrow for an
Sure,
inspection.
that example.
How cool is that?
They put in a
Where?
Mill.
application
Okay.
with all of their certificates.
Yes.
Payment,
Yes.
schedule pre-operation. That in turn will have to wait for the approval of the Board of Health members. See, what I'm getting at, this needs to be very well defined,
Absolutely.
okay? And I certainly would believe instituting some type of process like that would impede a lot of the procedures in the health department,
Okay.
okay? That's my assessment.
Can
And
I,
go
can I
ahead.
just,
Go ahead. Yep.
I think it's a very complicated matter because I kind of hear the tone of what you're saying is you may be overstepping your bounds, but whether, and so I think for me it's a discussion, and that's what I think it's discuss the process.
Right.
And if through this discussion it's found out that not only are you going to cog the system, you're not within your rights as the board, and I think then the discussion is over. So
Yeah, that's fine.
so I think it's more to better educate at this point, because I tell you right now, I'm not in a position to make
Well, that's
any
why I
comments.
said if it's
Yes,
anything
you had said it.
that
That's fine.
applies to
Yep.
us,
Yes.
you know, and I think
Yep.
that's what, you know, Nicole was saying, that if something is applicable to us,
So maybe
and
it's
that she would like for us to know about it first.
And,
like,
and maybe
you know.
and maybe it's a conversation where we tackle it.
Yeah.
It's not mixed in. I think it warrants its own special time. You know.
Right. Well, no, and that's why we're discussing it here. It's
Right,
not just
right.
a, hey, this is what it is and that's it. It's just, Paige
So
brought it
to
up, like, oh,
continue,
that's,
so-
okay, she's not here, wanted to bring that up to the table too,
Right,
because
okay.
that was a good point, exactly.
So now this is really to get to. So we just want to. Are we at the point to say? Do we just want to continue this discussion and define it a little bit more? As far as, because I know Dan, what exactly do you need? What types of businesses?
Yeah.
Now you're saying all business. So
Well, and I agree, I think that opens more to that, but I think,
I
with
see.
me, I think it's the new use, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
a new
yeah.
use is a definite, I think.
yep.
Sorry, guys, now you made me late.
I know.
Well, we'll have to table that.
No, you
Receipt
keep
with the
it.
back. Okay, there's a
Bye.
balance of $24.99, thank you.
All right, guys,
That comes
There's a
from
balance of
like that.
$4.99.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we wanna table this then, you know, so that way, because Jasmine had to leave and
Yeah,
Paige?
yeah, I think.
What do you think, Dan?
Sure, right
Do you wanna
on.
table that?
Yeah, this one needs, I think, a
Okay.
little more discussion anyway.
Oh, no, and I
Yeah.
agree,
So,
I agree,
and
and that's why we're
more to-
talking about
so-
it.
So Daniel doesn't get confused, or we all get confused.
No, so everybody's better educated on.
Right.
You don't have
You
any
don't wanna-
rights.
can't
We
rush
do
anything,
have.
yeah.
You don't.
No, and I get it.
So I have a motion
To
to
table.
table
Table.
by Dan,
I'll
Yes.
second.
thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Nicole Duffy,
Yes.
Dan Grabowski.
Yes.
Anthony Casali.
Yes.
Jasmine Rathback is 7:08.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, agenda item number 10, to discuss the input for usage of opioid funds. Daniel, where are we at with that?
No new information.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
That committee has to be put together not only by the health department, but again, in concert with other departments, namely the town manager.
Yeah, so we're
And
waiting
others.
for other departments for that, right?
Sure.
We're waiting for the town
Everybody,
manager.
HR, I mean, there's other departments that the town manager, the previous town manager suggested should be part of this team.
We're still waiting for them, in other words.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna have to, we don't have a choice, we're gonna have to, we'd have to table that, absolutely, okay. Okay.
So I have
So we're gonna have to,
I'll make a
Motion.
motion to table the agenda 10, discuss input of usage for opioid fund.
yeah,
I'll second that.
okay, thank you.
Nicole Duffy,
Yes.
Anthony Casali,
Yep.
Dan Grabowski.
Yes,
Motion
yes.
passes.
And agenda item number 11, discuss the ARPA funds project, the homeless shelter. Daniel, we're still in the same boat, right?
That, there are no additional ARPA funds available for such an endeavor.
That's awful. It was like as soon as we got to even touch it, it was gone. We didn't even get to even do anything. Is there gonna be possibly any more money coming this way? I mean, that, last I heard, it was more like it could be an ongoing thing, Is that correct or no?
Well, and ongoing with the ARPA,
as far as
the proceeds
funds kind
coming.
of coming in, no.
No. What may be feasible to have extra funds is the entities, individuals that were awarded the funds, if they return the funds and they're not being used
Left
back into the pot, so
Yeah,
to
that's
speak.
not gonna happen. They're gonna do a spend down.
Right,
If they have money
Wait a
left over, they're
minute,
gonna do
yeah.
a spend down, yeah.
That's the only hope,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah.
Whether it's,
Yeah.
it will actually happen.
And even so, there's not gonna be enough money to create a homeless shelter, unfortunately.
Not even enough for
That's too
pizza
bad.
for the next Beautify Southbridge. All right, well,
Lunch.
okay. All right, make a motion to It's
We
not
can
even a
just-
motion
we can
because we
just-
can't
no,
do,
I
yeah,
think
it's nothing a
you-
motion. That's out of our hands.
Yep.
We don't have
That
anything.
one's done, yes.
That one's done. We have nothing to
Yeah.
motion. Okay, health director's announcements?
My announcement, unfortunately, would have to tell the members and send around this announcement that Emily Quinn has left the department, and she resigned
Wow.
a couple weeks ago, and last week was her final week. She is no longer with us. She's moved on to greener pastures. We wish her well, but her time had come, and served the department very well. And we wish, again, the best for her. And at this point, we have, through HR, made the announcement for the hire of that position.
Oh, you did,
And
okay.
that job has been announced and advertised, I should say.
Is it advertised on the town hall website, I take it, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And with the positive, we are receiving applications and interest,
Okay,
Good. Good.
which is a good thing.
okay. Good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else? Or-
That's it.
Okay. Chairman announcements. I wanted to make mention again about the Beautify Southbridge, the outcome, we had a great turnout with that. And tons of kids. It was like, I swear, it was like, I even posted on Focus on Southbridge about that with a nice picture. Thank you, Martha, for sending those. And it was great because it was like more than half, like 75% of like the kids that were coming out. It was great. Yeah, we
That's
had a
good.
gorgeous,
That's
gorgeous
good.
day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah. So thank you, Samartha and Daniel. For and Dan. And yeah, it's like so that was great. And you're excused. I know you had your stuff. I get it. No, I get it.
Yeah.
It's
It ain't
not-
funny.
We'll do it again.
I know,
Yeah.
no. And that's no negative at all.
No, I-
'Cause you're
I
straight
get it.
up, like
I
I
get
get
it.
that. But no, it was a great turnout, and I think when I posted it on Focus on Southbridge, it was great because a couple of people were like, hey, if I would have known about it, and I told them going forward, this is where we post. And I said, I'm like, they said, just every spring, right? I'm like, no, actually, we're doing it twice a year now, so let them know that. So I think, more and more, we'll get more, people to know about it. And also I wanted to know about the Big Y area that did you get where you're at with that?
I
know
did
and you're
go
gonna
up-
look into it more, but I just didn't know where you're at right now. So just to get everyone up to speed, I had gone to the Big Y one night, and we all know, like, once in a while it smells. This night was horrid. I'm talking about.
Sometimes
No, this night was like no
Yeah, it
other
was
night.
beyond.
Like, people were like around in the parking lot, like outright saying, "Oh my!" Like they just couldn't. I mean, they were covering their faces.
They
It was
dry
horrible.
it, right? They put some of the waste out to dry it or
They
something.
do a number of processes like that.
Horrible.
And it's that
That
anaerobic decomposition of these organic materials.
What can you
And many factors come to play: relative humidity, wind
Yes.
speed, amounts, the actual practice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, unfortunately, when it's humid, it's
certainly, and when you sent that over, I went the next day, and my assessment is, I believe it's totally attributable to the wastewater treatment facility. And now, looking at it historically, my understanding, speaking with individuals in the community, that it was far worse, but still, there's intermittent times when the odor gets to a real high level.
yeah. It's usually at
And
night.
yes,
It's usually at night.
usually
yeah.
at night.
It's usually at night. But that night, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Like,
it was that.
I'm born and raised in this town, and it's like but that
Right,
night
so
was
you
like
know,
a
right?
whole
So
other.
I
Yeah.
I can say I
I
can
concur.
imagine it, but it sounds like I can't because even on its worst day, it sounds like it was.
Oh, yeah, it was awful.
Well, didn't we just put $5 million into that? The town council, we're going back to hell like maybe 7 or 8 years ago, didn't they say we were,
I thought they were doing something.
like, it was a process that was gonna take a while, but, I mean, the town pumped in $5 million.
Yes, yes.
I
And
mean, because evidently it was worse before, but you don't know. I mean, you have nothing to compare it to because you know you just can't go back
Yeah,
in time.
exactly.
But
Yep.
Right.
the heat brings out a lot. You know what I mean?
It does.
It's just one of those. I don't. It's not all the time, else we couldn't survive.
I get it.
Right.
I think it would be just conducive to, if this continues, to address this with the team there, the wastewater treatment facility team, operators, and the town manager in conjunction with the town council. Again, going back historically, I have nothing that I've witnessed since I've been here, other than levels near the plant, which I go to get the containers, the waste containers. And when I go on grounds, there's days that you're right, it is very high. It almost hits you out as a wall. But there's other days where generally it's tolerable.
Right.
In my,
No, that's been the way it's been.
It's been, yeah.
Dan.
But I get it. I understand where Nicole's coming from. It's just it's probably an isolated event where it got so bad where brought attention to yourself.
Oh, that was-
where maybe
that
something
was-
might
Such
have
as
happened.
water.
Oh,
Maybe
that was-
something might have happened that might have,
Sure.
That's what-
Right,
that's
right.
what the
Maybe
concern
what-
was,
something
right.
happened,
Yeah,
yeah.
something out of the ordinary, that's why I
Because it's
wanted
not
to check.
normal for that to
Exactly.
happen, so
That's
maybe
not-
there was
yeah.
an emergency involved, and that's why maybe she
Yeah,
contacted.
exactly, yeah, that was an out, yeah.
At
that's
that
all.
level, yes.
Because emergencies do happen, right?
Yeah.
Things break
And
down.
they do.
Yeah, we have to check it, we can't just like,
No,
And-
you
you know,
can't,
assume
you
it's,
have
that's
to,
it,
you
yeah.
have to make it.
And I was out there the next day, and I was in a parking lot many areas, and I did not
Okay.
have even detect that odor.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps that there was some faulty equipment, some type of different practice. But just to clarify and reiterate, the wastewater treatment facility operates under the authority of the Department of Environmental Protection. So if there are any deficiencies or any opportunities to improve, rest assured they would address it and identify the odor nuisance.
So do we have to contact them to have them
They,
check
they can be
something?
contacted anytime and
Yeah, can we
they,
contact them? I would just like it checked, I would just, you know,
well,
whatever.
again, there's limitations what I can do.
Oh, I understand, but
And
whatever
if
we
I- if
can
I-
do,
I would-
I'd like to do.
And what I'm saying, what we can do, and what the best approach is to address it to the appropriate individuals.
Just look into it, in other words.
Right, and that would, and the oversight, the DPW, it's managed by the DPW, I believe, wastewater treatment, to take that directive from the individuals that are responsible for the operations. And,
Yeah, we just need to contact the people we need to contact and, you know, see what can be done to check that, just to make sure, because that was like, ooh.
I tell you,
And
every
we-
time I open the door, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna get today?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, so that, yeah, and I understand, I know you had told me that, you know, you would just tell me, you know, where you're at with that, and that's fine, but yeah, if you could contact the appropriate people and, you know, get that checked or ask the people who can
well, I
check
could,
that,
I
check
could
it.
definitely, look into that, see
Yes.
what may have happened that day.
Right.
But again,
I want to make sure they're in compliance.
well,
Which
then,
they're
then
supposed to
if,
be.
if they are, then I would, ask you to contact DEP yourself, or please speak with the,
I'd like
the
you to
town
do- If
manager.
you could do that, that'd be good, thank you.
okay.
All right, that's all I have for mine. Tony?
Yes, so, hey, I'm going to be stepping down from the board. My life is just, you know, when we had first talked and I had said, hey, look at my
You said that
my
right at
life
the
is
beginning.
just
You
right,
did.
and
You
it
said
and
right
it
at the
really
beginning,
just
yeah.
seems to be becoming more and more complicated in a good way. I have a growing family, and my time,
Absolutely.
I don't want to miss out on this little window that I have. So I want to say it's been a great. I don't know. It's you and I have been here since the right. So it's,
Yeah.
it's it's been a wonderful ride. I'd like to thank everybody.
you.
Thank you for indulging and helping me learn. And I apologize if I've offended anybody, but it's just truly for the best of. It wasn't, but that's really it, So
Well, I just want to, I appreciate, it's like, you know what, you've been upfront, straight, transparent from the get-go, and your absence is definitely going to be felt, because, I know
I
it's
appreciate
bothered you, you're like, oh, I can barely go, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know what, it's like the value of, like I said, it's like, you know what, every time you hear,
You're
it's like,
writing
it's valuable.
I,
You're writing it down?
I appreciate that. Thank you. We try, and I commend the volunteers, the board especially, for taking the time. And I wish these two were still here, because I
know.
love the focus of the board.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think in all my time here that we've put such an emphasis on mental health, and it's kind of making me like I'm like, should I be doing more? What can I be doing? And it's just opened up my eyes. So I think it's great, the focus that you've had. So I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. We wish you the best of luck with it.
Thanks. Well, you're gonna see me around. I'm sure you'll see me popping
I
around.
hope,
I'm
absolutely,
around.
yeah.
Come down to the Italian Club.
I will, absolutely, yep.
Thank you for your
Festivals.
service.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Absolutely.
Believe it or not, I'm gonna miss you, because you are a talented man, and I hope this has nothing to do with me. It's out of frustration.
Hey,
That's all it is.
I get it.
Because you are an intelligent man and you do contribute a lot. I will tell you that. 'Cause other than that, but
I don't take
and
anything
I
personally.
know you had years of experience, and I appreciate that, even
Thanks.
though I don't.
No.
I have trouble articulating myself well.
But the thing is, I know where to find you, because I grew up at the Italian
Yep.
Club, believe it or not. I've been going there since I was 16. Hey, you want to go to a stag? What's a stag? All of
Yeah,
a sudden,
yeah.
sneaking around beers. Everyone at the Italian Club I grew up with, Dino.
Yeah, all
Scott,
the boys down there.
You know,
I appreciate that.
Tony.
Yes, come down. All of you. All of
But
you
I
come
just
down.
hope,
8 o'clock.
I really don't, I hope your decision wasn't based on maybe anything that I said.
No,
Because if
my-
it did, I really,
Absolutely not.
I would be ashamed of myself because of, maybe showing frustration. But it was all in good intention.
Dan, you don't
That's
have
all
to
I
say
have to
it.
to you.
Listen,
I can't take back what it happened, but I.
you don't have to. It's water under the bridge, and if I see you in the street, I'll make sure to run you over. No, yeah. No. I'm being serious
I
now.
expect you to do
No,
that.
I'm being serious. I've started to feel bad because I don't feel like I can put the time into this board and being a positive and with everything that, we're talking about the permits. And I'm like, it goes deeper than just
It
what
does.
I feel. Like I have a feeling about it, but I need to know legally what are we doing. So I just can't put that time in. My time now is just focused on my
No,
family
understood,
and, just trying to be a good
Yep.
good guy with my family. So no, Dan, absolutely not.
Thank you.
I appreciate
your
that.
honesty, because I really.
No. I
Yeah.
thank you.
You made me feel a lot better,
I'm
and
gonna
that's
miss you.
all I'll leave it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You'll
I'll see
you'll
you
definitely be
at the
missed,
picnic.
yeah. I've always seen you as the anchor, I think, like, of the board, I'm telling you, like, I know you're
I
like,
tried to be
"Oh,
the
it's
calm,
like-"
just like, hey.
You're the
So
anchor.
what are we doing again,
You know,
guys?
again, everyone's parts are important. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
contributes here, and it's important, it really is.
Absolutely. I appreciate
Thank
it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Dan, do you wanna,
No, that's my
Anything?
input.
okay. All right. Okay, wanna schedule the next meeting? Tony, obviously.
Yeah. Hey, I'm good for any time. Hey, thank you for moving a couple meetings too, by the way.
Actually, I should get my phone to see you.
See,
Can
you
you
missed
at
the
least
humor
do
at least.
June?
What?
Can you make it to the June meeting?
Why? What's the
Or are
June?
you officially stepping down as of effective today?
Effective today. Seriously, like I'm. If you were to look at my calendar, people like, yeah, but this Trinity asked me to do another meatball or pasta dinner. I don't have time until like September.
Wow.
It's that nuts, but it's good.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
good.
Let me go check with the schedule here, hold on. Got a whole bunch over here. All right, so the second Thursday is the 8th. I can't make the 8th, 15th. Well, it's just you and me, Dan. How's the
You know me.
15th, how's the 15th of June look for you?
15th is good.
Okay. All right, 15th at 6 p.m.
Of June?
of June, yeah.
Okay. I do not believe I'll be able to attend. I think I'll be on vacation.
Nice.
Where we can have it, who's gonna,
Well, it's the board. The board is having their own meeting.
Okay.
I mean, if
Well, we could move it to the 22nd. How long, when's your vacation? Is that just that week? or
I'm
you
looking at
doing-
that target date. Again, that's just
You
tentative.
want to do it tentative then? And then we'll, because we'd like
Can you move it to
here.
the following week?
That, why
The
don't we do
23rd?
that? 22nd.
Yeah, I don't
so-
have a calendar in front
I
of me,
do,
but
22nd. Why don't we do that?
that'd be better.
Okay.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
If things change, let us know and then
Okay,
we'll flip that.
great.
Yeah,
Thank
We
you.
try to be flexible with it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
You gotta be.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
gotta be.
absolutely. This is all for us. I mean, volunteer here. So,
Right.
You know, okay. June 22nd, 6 p.m. All right. Next to make motion to adjourn.
I will make the motion to adjourn.
Well, all right, we're gonna do this. I know.
Jane Grabowski,
Yes.
Nicole Duffy?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's the last yes you're
There it
gonna
is.
get,
Hey,
man.
no, seriously, I never had any hard feelings. Believe me. Thank you very much. But I appreciate that.
That is
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you very much.
But next time.